The closest meaning of the development of the body in this case is referring to AN 6.5 and also MN 36. The reason is because it's talking about restraining of the senses. In this case, like what was described just now, it can cover the restraint of the senses, including the mind, the 6 senses actually. So the commentary also says that this refers to a person who is an arahant. Although the AN 6.5 doesn't specifically say that he's an arahant, but we think that it is closest also because it covers all 4 aspects. It talks about the sense restraint, virtue, samadhi, and wisdom, which only an arahant would have a full comprehension of all this. But the other closest that we think is also applicable to the root sutta is MN 36, which talks about when a person who is developed in the body is not affected by pleasant feelings and he's not affected in the mind by painful feelings. So for that reason, we think that is AN 6.5 and MN 36.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Very clear and precise answer.
For question D4, the first step that we need to do is to establish the type of person that's actually mentioned in the sutta that's able to have the painful vipaka diminished. Okay, so we see from the sutta that such a person is unlimited and he's of a lofty character and he dwells without measure. So based on these 3 descriptions, based on the commentaries to this AN 3.100, we see that unlimited here refers to virtues are not limited, and lofty character means that such a person is of a great and altruistic character, and he actually possesses the 4 Brahma Viharas. So based on this definition of this aparito mahata, we then come to the conclusion that such a person is actually in reference to an arahant, such that whatever painful vipaka that's to be experienced is actually diminished to a large extent. So that is actually based on the commentaries to AN 3.100 on who this person might be as described in the sutta. So based on this conclusion, we then come to the analysis as to what is the most appropriate meaning for develop in body and develop mind for this enlightened one. For develop in body, the most appropriate meaning would be one who is not affected by pleasant feeling, as you can see from NN 36. And such a person would actually have perfect sense restraint in that he does not grasp at signs and features, and that evil, unwholesome states of mind do not invade him. So that would be extracted from EN 6.50. And based on the commentary to MN 36, the Arahant will also possess perfect insight and wisdom. So these will be the 3 most appropriate meanings for the definition of develop in body as referred to in AN 3.100. As to the reference to develop in mind, the most appropriate meaning to that would be one who is not affected by painful feelings, as extracted from NN 36. And such a person will also possess right samadhi, as explained in AN 6.50 and the commentary to MN 36 and also Neti Pakarana. So the Arahant will actually possess the 4 jhanas.
All the 4. All the 4.
Either one of the 4. Either one of the 4 jhanas, Either one of the 4 jhanas.
Where does that come from? Not in this sutta,
I think no. That is basically extrapolation.
Okay.
It's implicit, it's extrapolation. I think comes from the sutta on the Dasama, where it's mentioned that such a person can actually achieve arahut by withdrawing from the jhanas and then reflecting on the jhanic state, the factors that constitute the jhana, that jhana is actually a sankhara. So one can actually attain arahut just by possessing any of the 4 jhanas and not necessarily all 4. And of course, development mind will also mean right sati, perfect mindfulness, as explained in the Neti Pakarana. So that's our conclusion.
Okay, thank you.
To answer the developed in body and in mind, we feel from your notes here, the most appropriate commentary would be the Neti commentary and the AN 3.1 commentary.
3.100 you mean?
Come again? 3.100 commentary.
Now, what does it say?
It says, contemplation of body, grown in virtuous behavior, grown in the mind, grown in wisdom.
Okay, that's all. Not the other one. The other one on sense restraint.
Complete.
Huh?
The other one like not so complete.
Oh, okay,
We feel
okay.
that probably this is the most
Okay.
appropriate one.
This one plus neti.
Natty.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We think that the most appropriate meanings of these two terms in the context of our sutra is from the MN 36, not affected by pleasant feeling which is developed in body, and not affected by painful feelings developed in mind. The reason it is so that we are able to restrain the six senses.
Which one comes first? Restrain the six senses come first or MN 36 come first?
MN 36.
Yeah? Then what is the bottom arrow?
The reason and the passage. This is the reasons and this is the passage. So we took this from the so that once we are not affected by pleasant feelings and not affected by painful feelings, we are unlimited and has a lofty character, and we are dwells without misery.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Our group divided the question in three sections: the meaning, reason, and passage. Okay, for development in body, the meaning is to restrain the five senses. And the reason is that to have right action and right effort. And passage is referring to AN 3.100 commentary. Development in mind will be growth in the mind. And reason will be right mindfulness and right samadhi. The passage will also referring to the AN 3.100 commentary.
I don't think so, Right mindfulness and right samadhi doesn't come from MN.
Okay, well, we are referring to this meaning to AN 3.100.
And the other
this
one?
Is from Neti, I think.
From Neti?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to quote again back to the same Lam or Sort quote here where it says about he is unlimited and has a lofty character and he dwells without measure. So when it comes to the part on the meaning of developed body, the context here we are talking about is the Arahant. So he who has unlimited and has a lofty character, here we are talking about guarding the five senses. And what it means by develop of the mind is actually talking about he dwells without measures. And
Wait a minute. Are you equating develop in body to guarding the five senses?
yes, correct.
Based on?
Because here it says he has unlimited and lofty character. So character is also based on a bodily kind of development.
Bodily in what sense? Go to the gym?
Through the practice of the virtues.
That one is under sila, ma. That one is under moral virtue, isn't it?
Anyone want to help from my group?
Come on, you cannot abandon your member.
Maybe I go to the development of the mind first. I'm trying to tie back to the earlier definition of dwelling without measures, where Bhante talks about divine abiding. What it means here is the perfection of the four sublime quality, which is metta, karuna, mudita, and upekkha. So I think that is in the context of development of the mind.
Okay, thank you. That one is based on Bhante Akachita's words, huh? Nothing inside the suttas, no in the commentary.
From the slide earlier.
Okay. I thought there was one sister who wanted to give you some reinforcement. Yeah, please come.
Okay, I just want to add on that just now your question is asking on the develop in body based on what. So my understanding from the Sutta on the page 48, the commentary, is based on the five senses. That means we need to restrain and guard our five senses well. So for those who develop in body, despite with the comeback karma happen to that person, the impact will be minimal, like not lead you to hell, but we just experience in this lifetime. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What does develop the body mean?
Okay. Developing the body means exercise sense restraint. Okay, it means right speech, right action, and right livelihood. developing the minds. There are two methods, the samatha method.
Wait. Where does this come from?
God, we got answer.
You
I
must
can't
give
see,
me the.
I can't see.
You must give me the reference.
Okay, say the reference quick.
Okay, we scanned through all the suttas and the commentaries and also the page on the guide, and we found that only the guide, that is the Nati, is able to explain the four terms well for us to diminish the karma. So that's why we picked the Nati, the guide, to explain that. And as what brother has mentioned earlier, we know that to diminish karma is the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, and it's all here.
I know, but then you see, Brother James talked about sense restraint, but is that found in the Neti? Is it in the Neti? The Neti says, right, what is developed in body in the Neti?
When the body is being developed, two things approach. So it's giving us the implication that two things is being approached: development, right action and right effort.
Right action and right effort.
Yes, and virtue is the right speech and right livelihood. The mind, should I continue?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But so, right action and right effort is under developed in body.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Developed in virtue means right speech and right livelihood.
Yes.
Correct?
Virtue, yes.
Okay, I mean, that's what the Neti says.
Yes.
So, that's how you also agree. You agree with what the Neti says. Correct? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We choose the restraint of senses for the developed body. I think just now Bodhi have mentioned that it doesn't confine to the five senses. Only the commentary mentioned that is constrained to the five senses. So if let's say in context with the Lam of Sot Sutta, if you are able to watch the subjective experiencer, then you will not grasp the signs and feature of what the bad karma bring about, and you're able to handle better. And in that aspect, the effect of the bad karma comes back might not be that strong.
That's only for development in body.
Yeah.
How about development in mind?
We didn't did that part, but my guess is that I see that samadhi was repeated in that column. So samadhi would be a choice for me.
Okay.
Since you need to have a composed mind in order not to grasp the signs and the feature of what the sixth sense law gives you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Development of mind and development of body is the living of the spiritual life and the opportunity for the complete making of an end of suffering. And both development of mind and development of body are actually two sides of the same coin. That's it.
Where do you get the answer?
Who's down here? And the two sides of the same coin is inferred from the commentary saying that samatha and vipassana. Samatha and vipassana are two sides of the same coin.
Who says?
Any meditator?
This is a sutta study class. So which sutta says that? I mean, in the extract.
Samatha vipassana is always together.
No. I mean, in this.
In this sutta.
Yeah, in this compilation, in this workbook.
In this workbook, it's not there lah.
It's not there.
But I've got a question for you, sir.
No. Answer my question first. Ask your question later.
It's not here. It's not here, so I don't know. But so.
So what has your group decided? On what you said?
Nobody.
Or is this your personal opinion?
Well, two of us discussed and we said this. And we heard something from someone else. You cannot develop one without developing the other.
Oh, okay. So that's how you come to this conclusion.
Yes.
Not based on the suttas. Not based on this workbook.
Yep.
Okay. All right. What is the question you want to ask?
In Majjhima Nikaya 36, Mahasacaka, it's Bhavitata. There's an atta at the end of the Bhavita Kaya.
Yeah.
But then in the Samyutta and the Anguttara, it's all Bhavita Kaya.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Oh, that one is a grammatical thing.
Why is that atta there and the other one no atta? That's my question.
Oh, because the atta is not the self. That atta is a suffix that shows it has been made into an abstract noun. And it says, because of this. You see, there's a because in that sentence. Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
We were a bit confused actually. We're not so sure, but this is the best we can. After we read the Lamb of Salt Sutta, the Buddha mentioned many times, a person is developed in body, virtues, behavior, mind, and wisdom. Lofty character, dwells without measures, and divine abiding, dwell in sufferings. We think that the most appropriate terms to use for develop in body and mind is develop in dana, sila, and samadhi. Because we think that develop in body in this meaning, the lamb of salt is like comparing having good karma to be able to overcome the bad karma that coming in. It's like the salt and Ganges river. So we think develop in body and mind is the develop in terms of dana, sila, and samadhi. Whether it's right, remember?
Where does it come from? I don't see dana anywhere in the sutta.
Because the saying here there is virtuous behavior in mind and lofty character, big-hearted or minded. We interpret this as that it's like a generous person.
Oh, okay.
And virtuous means that you are observing sila well.
Then body?
And
develop in body.
The body is when we observe the sila. There's a virtuous behavior means that your
so body,
your body
and virtuous behavior same.
We are not so sure, so we thinking that body here means that more appropriate in the sense of having done dana and observed sila and samadhi.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, since our group started with the boomerang analogy, we end with that. Okay, this is go back to the Root Sutta. It mentioned that if a person creates a bad karma, you're going to experience the same. There'll be no possible of free from suffering and the suffering. But the Sutta said that if this person develop himself in such a way that body and mind, he will experience this effect of karma in a particular way. It means it's in the lighter form, and this person have a chance to end the suffering. And we refer to Anguttara Nikaya 6.5, page 46. Of course, this person also know that this is unstoppable. It cannot stop.
What is unstoppable?
The bad effect of karma cannot be stopped, must be experienced. This means this boomerang eventually have to hit, depending how hard it hit this person. And this person is called for help. You to build one's line of defense to diminish the effect. And based on the 6.50, there is a method to restrain sense faculty, to develop virtual behaviors, right concentrations, and then knowledge and visions, and eventually into the freedom. We find that, our group find that, in fact, it paraphrasing the Noble Eightfold Path. It also supported by the Neti commentary. It groups these few developments in the light of Eightfold Path. In conclusion, in order to diminish the bad effect of past karma, is to practice the Eightfold Path. The Sila, Samadhi, and the Panya elements. And with this, these persons will have this line of defense here. To diminish the karma effect.
How does restraint of the sense faculties fit into the Noble Eightfold Path?
Based on the Neti commentary,
yes,
the sense restraints is to exercise the right actions and effort.
Okay, right action, right effort.
To develop the virtue is to practice right speech, livelihood.
Yeah, but here you have Sila as right livelihood, right action, right speech. But Neti puts right action under body. Correct?
Under bodies, Yeah, correct.
So
What we mean that neti is paraphrasing the Eightfold Path in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah. But in whole, we find that to diminish the bad effect of karma is to practice the Noble Eightfold Path, which is being paraphrased by Neti and also Anguttara Nikaya 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.